Importance of complete feed in sheep and goat. Livestock provides food and non-food items to the people. So it is the integral part of our lifestyle. If you see the population of livestock as per the present census, it is around 535.78 millions as per the 20th census, and it is growing at the rate of 4.6 to the previous census. If you see the cost of feed in livestock rearing, it comes around 60 to 70%. And due to the rising of human population, there is a competition for the consumption of grain. So there is need to utilize some alternative feed products for the livestock. The byproduct, crop residue that is available in today's in abundant amount, and it is around 362.793 million tons in every year. Proper utilization and proper disposal of this crop residue, that is very important. Otherwise, could be chances of pollution. Around the sheep and goat, it makes a significant contribution to the rural income, and it provides employment chances for the rural youth also. And you see the growth rate of sheep, it is around 14.13, whereas the growth of goat, it is around 10.14 as per the present census. And if you compare the goat, they are the more capable of using cell-rich feed stuff as compared to the sheep. If you see the growth rate of sheep and goat, it is higher as compared to the cattle and buffalo. Sheep population, it is 74.26 million, and the growth rate as per the present census, it is around 14.13, and it contributes around 13.8% to the total livestock population. If you see the state who are contributing more percentage of sheep, these are the Telangana, then followed by Andhra, then followed by Karnataka. So they are the major contributing sheep population. Same way, if you see the goat population, population as per the 29th census, it is 148.88 millions, and the growth rate is around 10.14. And it contributes around 27.8% to the total livestock population. If you see the supply of dry and green fodder as per the projection given by Dixit and Brittle in 2010, here we can see that in 2020, there is deficiency of 11.85% of dry fodder, whereas the deficiency of green fodder, it is around 30.65. Before going to our actual topic, I would like to clarify some of the terminology that will be used in the subsequent part. So the first is feed. Feed generally, it is used in case of livestock, whereas in case of human, it is used food. Fodder, it is the coarse type of feed stuff. It includes legumes as well as non-legume parts. Overall, we can say the all aerial part of the fodder that will come under fodder unit. It could be a dry, a green. It could be natural, cultivated type of things. Forages, it is also a roughages. It could also be cultivated, a wild type of fodders. Another is pastures. Pasture, it is also one kind of grazing land that is managed by proper cultivation and proper curing, proper management. Grassland, it is the natural pastures. Where the crop residue, it is the leftover plant part of crop. Generally, that will be utilized for making up crop complete feed. Roughages, generally in animal nutrition, there is two type of feed stuff. One is roughages and another is concentrate. Roughages, which is having more fiber, means if it containing more than 18% good fibers, then it will be considered as a roughages. And if it contains less than 18% good fiber, it will be considered as a concentrate. It contains more amount of protein, more amount of energy, and very less amount of crude fiber, less than 18% crude fibers. Legumes, there is two type of fodders, leguminous fodder and non-leguminous fodders. Leguminous fodder, it could be a pulsy type of fodders. If you are breaking the grain, it will broken into two equal parts. That will be considered a leguminous type of fodder. It contains more amount of calciums and less amount of phosphorus. Whereas the non-leguminous type of fodder like jowar, maize, bajra, if you want to break the seed, you cannot break it into two equal parts. So it will come under non-leguminous type of fodders. Jowar, maize, bajra, it will come under this category, and it is generally considered as a maintenance type of fodder, yeah, non-maintenance type of fodders. Hay, it is conjure type of fodders. We can prepare it from leguminous type of fodder. We can store it for lean during the lean period. Straw, it is also aerial part of residue remaining after harvesting, like paddy straw, wheat straw. After getting grain, whatever left, that will be considered as a straw. Stovers, it is also mature cured stalks. Indirectly, we can say the stem part of maize that will be considered stover. Whereas cob, the grain maize that is attached, and after removing this grain, whatever left, that will be called cob. Pod, it is the long seed vessels, particularly of leguminous type of plant. Foliage, leaves of fodder, that is generally called, and these foliage that can be used in case of sheep and goat, where the browsing habit that is encountered. Hull, this is the outer covering of beans and beans like soybean meal, bean meals hulls and groundnut hulls. Brines, Bran, it is the outer covering of cereal grains like rice bran, or generally it is used while making concentrate mixtures. Husk, it is also a dry, hard, protective outer covering of grains, grams. Like in case of rice husk is available. In case of gram husk is available. Another is cake. It is the protein type of feedstuffs. All the pulsy grain, it provides cake, because after extraction of oil, whatever left, it will be called cake. Cake is a one kind of protein supplement, we can say. And the method which is applied for extraction of oil, that on that basis also we can say it a speller cake, solvent extracted cake. When we are using mechanical type of method, in such cases whatever residue we are getting, that is higher, it is around 7 to 8%. In such cases, a cake that can be called expeller cake. But when we are using in case of industry, when more amount of seed oil is that is extracted, in such cases benzene solvent, ether, these are used for extracting oils. So in such cases, the residual amount of oil, it is very less than 1%. In such cases, it can be called solvent extracted cake. And the meal, it is also a type of cake where it contains more amount of protein and very less amount of fat. It could be a plant origin, human origin. There is some physiological behavior pattern difference that can be seen in case of sheep and goat. Sheep, generally it is the grazing type of behavior that is observed, where in case of goat, browsing behavior that is encountered. Here in the picture, we can say some of the goat, they can climb and they used to plug the very tender part of lips, whereas in case of sheep, they used to graze. They just like a cattle, they prefer to graze the grasses or fodders that is available in the grassland. Comparative feeding behavior and digestive physiology of sheep and goat. Here we can say in case of goat, they are selective grazers. Generally, we used to say they are the browsers, wherein in case of sheep, they are less selective. They used to prefer grazing. The variety of food, feed stuff that there is preferential habit that is encountered in case of goat, whereas sheep, it is less preferential. We can allow any type of feed stuff to the sheep. If you see the dry matter intake for meat purpose in case of sheep and goat, it is same 3% of body weight. Whereas in case of lactation, the dry matter intake in case of goat, it is higher, 14 to 16%, whereas in case of sheep, it is only 3%. Just I want to clarify what is the normal feeding practices in case of sheep and goat. Proper nutritional management, it is essential to exploit full genetic potential of animals. While computation, formulation of ration, the energy that is very important. Proper amount of energy in feed stuff, that is very essential. Otherwise, there will be chances of hindering performance of sheep, their gestation of growth, loss of weight that will be encountered, reduce fertility, milk production, and reduce wool quality that will be observed if we are not keeping energy concentration properly. Energy concentration in the concentrate, that is affected by these parameters. We will not go in detail. Protein, that is protein also, it is very important. If you are keeping protein in concentrate mixture properly, then we can improve this condition: growth, muscle development, weight, and reproductive performance, wool growth. Otherwise, this thing that will be reduced. Sulfur containing amino acid, that is also important in case of sheep, because the sheep wool, it contains sulfur containing amino acid. So the first limiting amino acid in case of sheep, that is the methionine, whereas in case of other livestock, the first limiting amino acid, it is the lysine. So the cysteine that can be replaced by giving methionine amino acid. If you see, there is two condition in feeding practices of any livestock. First is the maintenance, and another is production. Maintenance requirement, it could be when we are able to maintain the body weight of animals, and another is production. If animal is in the production will include growth phase as well as gestation phase as well lactation phase. So for maintenance of sheep, we can give DCP 2.97 gram per kg metabolic weight. I think that all the participants, they are the veterinarian, they can understand what is metabolic body size. Same way we can also calculate TDN. So the 3% fat concentration, that is mandatory in case of concentrate mixture for sheep, and salt, that has to be kept 0.5% in case of complete feed, whereas in case of concentrate mixture, we can keep only 1%. In case of reproductive performance, we have to give some extra allowances to over and above the maintenance. In case of this pregnant ewe, last 6 weeks, we have to give 50% more nutrient to that of their maintenance. And in case of flushing, it is also one practice by which we can improve the ovulation percentage and reproductive performance of ewes. So it can be given 25% more amount of nutrient concentrate that can be given 2 to 3 weeks prior to breeding season. Now for milk production, generally sheep that is not reared for the milk purpose, but when it is in a lactating condition, to provide the milk for their lambs, we have to give concentrate to support this milk production. So up to 2 months, we have to give twice of maintenance, and later on, then we can reduce it into 1.5 times to that of maintenance. These are the fodder that is utilized in case of sheep: grasses, herbs, legume, wheat, sub, and farm waste that can be utilized by the sheep. Already in our previous slide, we have discussed that the sheep, it is the close grazers. They can take the very small part of the grasses from the grassland due to their split upper lips. And even they can glean the grains that is available in the surfaces in the field conditions. So during the monsoon, when the food quality, fodder quality, it is not good, at that time we have to give supplemental feeding in the form of concentrate mixtures to the sheep. If you see the rearing system of sheep and goat in general, so there is 3 type of rearing system: extensive system, generally it is adopted by the indigenous farmers, Another is semi-intensive. For some time they allow grazing, and for some time they keep their animal into their shed and they allow some extent of feed stuff to the animal. Another is intensive system where the commercial farming, they adopt this type of system. They keep their animal in the shed only and they provide everything in the shed. So this system is an intensive system. So if we are following extensive or semi-intensive condition, in such cases, if the animal is able to maintain their body weight, then we will see that the animal is getting maintenance type of fodders. If the animal is not able to maintain their body weight, and in such cases, we have to supplement to the animal to support their body weight. If the animal is getting 20 to 30 gram gain per day, then it will be considered animal is getting maintenance type of fodders. If animal is getting more body weight by grazing in a extensive condition, a semi-intensive condition, in such cases there is need to go for rotational grazing so that we can prevent for over fattening of animals. Feeding up lambs, birth to 90 days is how we can do. In just after birth, the weight of feed a lamb that ranges 2 to 3 kg, and the growth of lamb, it is higher in case of kid. First 48 hour of their life, that is very critical. In during this period, one has to provide colostrum, mother's milk, because it is having antibody. So it has to be provided as soon as earlier. If the lamb kid, it is not able to suckle their mother, so in such cases there is need to assist the lamb to suckle mother's milk. And this is the first concentrate mixture that is provided to the lamb. It is called creep feeding. Creep feeding generally it is practiced in case of pig, whereas in case of sheep and goat also it is also considered. Creep is one space where the feed that is offered, and here only the lamb can enter, whereas the dam cannot enter. So that's why it is called creep feeding, and it is given generally for 10 days to 90 days. Up to weaning age, it is given. And it is generally given for helping more growth of lambs in early period, and it also helps in early rumen development, so that they can take roughages also. And the amount of creep feed consumed is inversely proportional to the ewe's meal production. If the ewe's meal production it is high, the creep ration can be given less. Now the feeding schedule from it will be for lambs, it should be allowed to suckle thrice a day up to 1 month. Then after it can be reduced to twice a day. And from 10 days onward, we should start drip feeding to the lambs. Then from 15 to that, gradually start any kind of hay can be given. Here already in the terminology we have used dry leguminous roughage, that will be called hay, where the dry matter it will be more than 90%. It is the leguminous type of fodder, it contain more amount of protein. So this hay, sun hemp, yeah, any kind of hemp available in your area, that can be given. Then this feeding lasts up to 90 days away. Then we can do for we can go for weaning. This is the example of creep feed that can be prepared in farmer's door also. By taking these proportions, we can prepare, and by taking these proportions, the DCP content it will be 17%, and TDN will be 73%. So here we can use as animal protein source, as a fish meal, a meat meal, either any of can be taken. This is a feeding of growing, finishing lamb from weaning to the slaughter. For this group of age of sheep, we can give these compositions. By taking this composition, we can prepare a grower ration also, which contain 13.0% protein and 70% TDN. In the same way, here also we can prepare concentrate mixtures. Now, feeding the pregnant ewes during from last week, during this period, we have to give more allowances for their fetal development. If the concentrated mixture of this U, it is having proper amount of energy, protein, minerals, and vitamins, then they will support fetus growth properly. Otherwise, there will be low birth weight, reduced viability of fetus that will be there. And just during pregnancy, you should be also fed sufficient good quality of roughages, cereals fodder supplemented with concentrate mixtures. If the ewe is able to sustain if able to achieve growth rate at the rate of 100 gram per day, especially in case of smaller breed, whereas in case of larger breed, it could be 150 gram. Then we can say whatever concentrate or roughages or feed stuff that is being offered to the sheep, it is adequate. Feeding up lactating suckling ewe for the first 2-3 days, 3 days, little grain mixture that can be given to the mother. Then gradually the feed stuff that can be increased up to 4% of their body weight. Then up to 8 to 10, yeah, up to 10 to 13 week, the extra amount of lactating concentrate can be reduced, and animal can be kept sole in maintenance type of feed stuff. Feeding for wool productions, wool contains sulfur containing amino acids, so it is very important to give sulfur containing amino acid in concentrate. It should be kept in mind. And some quantities of selenium, copper, cobalt, that is also important for improving the texture and quality of wool. So it should be added in the concentrate mixtures. Goat, it is the browsing animals. They used to prefer a very uh, tender part of leaves, and they can graze very short grasses, browse on foliage. They are faster in eating habits. They consume a wide variety of feeds and vegetarian than the sheep and cattle. The goat, they are having ability to distinguish the taste of feed stuffs and the tasty feed stuff that is taken by goats generally. They consume certain species at different definite stage, and otherwise they reject. Means before the flowering stage they used to take the leaves, and after flowering they avoid it. Rumen is not developed at birth, but a young kid, they used to pluck the roughages. 3 to 4 months their rumen that is fully developed. Goat generally it is reared for milk and meat purpose. Dual purpose breed, it is the Jamnapuri, Barberine, Sirohi. Meat purpose, Black Bengal. Milk yield of goat, it varies from 60 liter to 250 liter per lactations of 120 days. Dry matter intake of sheep, it is around 35 to 80, and average 70 gram per kg metabolic body size. If you see the percentage of dry matter intake, it will be 3.2% of their body weight. Dry matter intake for smaller breed is generally higher as compared to the larger breeds. You see the for meat purpose, the dry matter intake, it is around 3%, whereas in case of lactating animal, it is 4 to 6%. Dry matter intake generally reduces during the pregnancy period, and just after parturition during lactation period, dry matter intake increased. If you see, as per the ICR, they have given 76 gram dry matter per kg metabolic body size. And the DCP and TDN requirement for goat, it is 3 and 30 grams. Whereas for the lactation, the dry matter intake, it is around 92 gram per kg metabolic body size, DCP 5.5, TDN 50.5 gram. For lactation, it is 45, whereas in case of cattle, it is 55 around. TDN requirement, it will be TDN, it is the energy part of feed stuffs, means total digestible nutrient. It is 345 gram per kg fat corrected milk. Feeding of kids, they should allow to suckle its dam for first 3-4 days, means colostrum feeding is done for first 3-4 days to support their immunity, because the colostrum, it contains more amount of antibody, so it is mandatory to provide colostrum during this period. It should be given at the rate of 100 gram ml per kg metabolic weight. In case of nondescript and indigenous goat, it can be given 0.3 to 4.4 liter milk per day. Kid starts nibbling the grasses just from 15 days of thereafter the creep ration can be given. This is the feeding schedule in case of goat. In first 1 and 3rd day, we have to give colostrum. Then for 4 to 14 days, we have to give simple milk. Then in 15 to 30 days, we have to give milk, as well as we will introduce some amount of creep feed. Then in 31 to 60 days, beside this creep feed, we will add some ad-lib quantity of roughages also. And after 90 days, ad-lib quantity of roughages that will be given to the animals. Now we will discuss our today's topic, that is the crop residue based complete feed for enhancing sheep and goat performance. Roughages, it contain more than 18% good fibers that will be considered as roughages. It could be a green or dry. These are the grasses, subs that is fed to the sheep and goat. Concentrate which contain less than 18% good fiber, and these are the concentrate, all the grains, protein, energy rich feed ingredient, protein rich feed ingredients, the urea and NPN substances that can be also given to the sheep and goat. Major crop residue from different crops, as we know, from rice we get husk, bran and straw. From wheat, bran and straw, maize, stovers, husks and skins. From millet, crop residue that is available is stover and straws. By sugarcane, they provide sugarcane tops, bagasse and molasses. And from these leguminous grains, we get straw also. If you see the percentage inclusion of different crop residue in complete diet of ruminant, generally the roughage that can be included up to 70%. So it is from 20 to 70% it can be included. Now there is some constraint why we can use this crop residue solely to the sheep and goat. So there is, because it contains more amount of fiber, and this fiber, it is not digestible. It needs some treatment, and thereafter only that can be digested. So the fiber content, it is higher in case of crop residue. Then even it is not palatable also, it is also not digestible properly. And even during this some particular season, it is available. It is bulking nature also, so their transportation, it is also expensive. It contains some anti-nutritional factor also, like in case of paddy oxalate that is available. In case of this sorghum, maize, they also contain oxalate, some cyanides type of anti-nutritional factor that is available, which hinders utilization of this crop residue. By proper processing, we can improve the nutrient utilization of this crop residue. So now what is complete feed? Complete means just like a pulao. In case of human nutrition, we add everything in one thing. We add leafy material also, we pulse and the grain, everything that is mixed, and we make pulao. So it is also a pulao for sheep and goat, and it can be considered as a concentrate, a complete feed. So complete feed, it contain roughages as well as concentrate, that can be considered a complete feed. It ensures adequate supply of balanced nutrient to the animals. When we are adding roughage and concentrate into that, it will support balanced supply of nutrient for the animals. It controls the ratios of roughage and concentrate. Generally, we used to say from feed stuff, 1/3 we have to give concentrate and 2/3 roughages. So this ratio that can be maintained while making a complete feed. It helps in improving utilization of low-grade fibrous crop residue also. Otherwise, there will be selective grazing by the animal, and animal will not be take. By this method, by making complete feed, we can utilize this feed stuff also. It reduces the feed wastage and feed cost also, because there is selective grazing, so an animal will not be will take. But when we are mixing it with the concentrate that can be taken by animals. It will promote feed intakes and avoid the refusal of due to unpalatability portion of feedstuffs. And by this method, we can reduce rumination time of animal also. It will go directly in the rumen, and their retention type of feedstuff that will be increased. So ultimately, the fiber digestion that will be increased. This complete feed that can be prepared by 4 method: mass form, a pellet form, a black form. By any of 3 form, we can prepare this complete feed. But before taking this crop residue, it requires treatment. By treating this crop residue, we will be able to delete the anti-nutritional factor, and we will be able to increase the lignocellulose. We will be able to increase the utilization of cellulose by breaking the lignocellulose bond. So for that, generally urea treatment that can be done. It is the generally popular method in field that can be done. Alkali treatment, steam explosion, and ozonolysis method that is also done. But these are the costlier method, and it require more labor. So urea treatment, it is the best method by which we can break the lignocellulose bond and cellulose can be utilized. These are the advantages of pre-treatment of straw. By this, we can improve the enzymatic hydrolysis. So the more amount of cellulose that can be hydrolyzed. By this method also, we can break the lignocellulose bond, lignin that can be deleted, and the more cellulose that will be available for digestion of animals. Breakdown of lignocellulose bond already, higher yield of glucose that will be available for utilization of an animal. So these are the different form of crop residue based complete feed. We can prepare mass also by taking this complete feed. Expander, extruder feed pellet that can also be prepared. Complete feed block can also be prepared, and another is pellet also. And these are the advantages of this complete feed, which improve the animal performance while by it stabilizes rumen environment and improves nutrient utilization. It also improves digestion of fibers, so it increases the acetate and propionate ratio, and even the energy density of feed that is also increased by this method. This slide shows the some diagrammatic flow diagram by which we can make a complete feed. From this hammer mill, we can grind the feed stuff, and here in silage we can store various feed ingredients, and by this mixers, we can mix all the ingredients, and by this here silo complete feed ingredient that is available, and by the help from here we can receive as a mass also. Otherwise, we can send it for the this pelleting mill, where we can get pellet kind of feedstuffs. Pelleted complete feed we can get. Otherwise, from here only, after just mixing, we can get it as a mass. This is the instrument that is utilized for making mass and pelleting machine. We can use complete feed as a mass also. Otherwise, we can prepare it as pellet form also. So for making pellet, we require a pelleting machine, and by the help of this pelleting machine, we can prepare pellet. This complete feed can be also prepared in the form of block also. This block can be prepared of half kg, 1 kg of quantity. Now, what could be the proportion of straw in complete feed for sheep and goat? Generally, for if the animal is dry, in such cases we have to take 60% straw. If the animal, sheep and goat, it is in a lactating, a growing condition, in such cases we can keep straw 50 and 50% concentrate. Whereas in case of high yielding animals, we can keep 40% straw and 60% concentrate. So in our places, what we used to do, we are having a paddy straw in abundant quantity. So we can use paddy straw and 30% concentrate that can be used. So in our place, what we are doing, paddy straw, it is not having so nutritive value. So we are trying to replace this paddy straw with other leguminous straw like arhar, soybean straw, gram straw. The next ratio that can be utilized 60-40. So 60% we can use roughages and 40% concentrate. So here also paddy straw we are trying to replace with other straw or soybean gram. So whatever straw that is available in your places that can be utilized, and that can be kept 60% and 40% concentrate. 50-50 ratio can be also used for lactating animals. 50% paddy straw and 50% concentrate. So there could be chances of acidosis, as so that has to be also kept in mind while feeding this 50-50, yeah, 60% concentrate and 40% roughages. That will be a composition of concentrate mixture can be prepared, and it can be kept as the ratio of 60-50 or 40. So maize, cottonseed cake, or whatever feed ingredient that is available, that can be utilized. And as per the availability of that area, this type of concentrate can be prepared. That is also one kind of composition that is suggested by one of the scientists in his experiment. So this can also be used, and this pellet, it is more beneficial as compared to mass in his experiment he has shown. Now, what are the advantages of crop residue based complete feed? So by this we are able to fulfill the nutrient requirement of animals, and whatever locally available feed stuff that is available, that can be utilized by this complete feed. That is the biggest advantages of complete feed. And there is also a scope for incorporation of tree leaves, subs, routine roughages that is available in their area that can be utilized. Quality feed available around the year, and it is also cost effective, cheaper in storage also, and that can be transported from one place to other place also very safely, and it saves time and labor, and it can correct multi-nutrient deficiency in the animal also, because it is a balanced type of concentrate, and by giving this, all kind of deficiency that can be eliminated. It enhances utilization and quality of poor quality unconventional feed as step. When you are giving in a sole, it cannot be taken by animal. But when you are giving this crop residue with a complete feed, that can be taken by animal easily. So we can reduce the feed wastage also, and we can prevent selective feeding by the animals. It facilitates management, mechanization also. It helps labor cost. And another method is it is possible to low methane emission from the animals also, because it contains concentrate also. So by this way also, methane emission that can be reduced by complete feeding. It improves the production and reproductive performance of animals. There is one experiment done by Lee et al. In 2021, in which he has shown that the pellet feeding, it gives more growth as compared to mass, and the improvement of feed conversion efficiency, it is also good in case of pellet as compared to the mass. One of the experiment, Dr. Reddy in 2001, he has shown that the average daily gain, it is higher in case of lamb. It is around 87 to 108 grams to that of average non-descript lamb. And even the dry matter intake, it is higher in case of it is 20 to 15 to 20% in lamb and kids. And the cost, it is also reduced around 13 to 32% in case of lamb, and 13 to 22% in kids. So in general, we can say by giving complete feed to the sheep and goat, the average daily gain that is increased as compared to the non-descriptive feed, and even the cost of feeding that is also reduced while feeding complete feed to the sheep and goat. Feeding a complete feed ration containing wheat straw and black gram straw at 60 level in grass-fed sheep resulted in 60 to 62.5% average daily gain per day. It is reported by Jadhav and Deshmukh in 2001. So most of the scientists, they have reported that while feeding complete feed, the average daily gain that is improved as compared to sole feeding, mass feeding, yeah, conventional type of feeding. Here also one of the scientists, Bhanade in 2004, he has also shown the average daily gain. It is also improved by feeding complete feed in the ratio of 60-40. What is the effect of this feeding complete feed in case of reproduction? So generally in case of cattle, the first age calving that is improved. Same way in case of sheep and goat also it will be improved. And stress and repeat breeding condition and reproductive performance, that will be also improved while feeding complete feed, because it contains all the feed ingredient in a proper amount, and it contains also mineral mixtures and salt and other type of feed additives that can also be included. By coming to the conclusion, we can say there is high demand of milk and meat in the country, which requires newer feed resources. So for that, we can use locally available crop residue, and by using this crop residue, we can make economical complete feed by using locally available refuges. So in this way, we can reduce the rearing cost of sheep and goat also, and we can make sheep and goat more profitable. So strategic use of crop residue for complete feed production will support sustainable livestock production system and can further prevent environmental pollution also.